Well, it's midnight. Without doubt, this has got to have been the most event-filled 2 weeks of my life in 3D, for a number of reasons. Because of this, we're going to run into 3 parts tonight, or today, or this afternoon, whenever you're watching this. To me, it's tonight, right? We had the ZBrush book, which incidentally keeps selling out on Amazon UK and Amazon.com. But we've got to, Wordwell's got to deal with them. So they just, when they get stock's getting low, they send, fax over, and they send, less than 24 hours later another lot. So there's no delay. Now, as you'd probably look for it on Amazon, the book that's leading, has been out the longest is Scott Spencer's, right? It's got 38% of the market share, right? And it's been out a long time. Had a lot of promotion, had a lot of big heavy hits from Norman, Pixelogic gave it front page, stuff like that, right? Mine's has zero publicity. The only publicity it's had is what I've done, right? 22% already. As I said, you see, the majority of people who buy books on 3D are people who don't actually go on forums. That's why I was always confident of this book. Now, I know you'll have noticed that I put a lot of stuff on Mudbox, and I'll basically, moving over a bit. I'll cover that later on. But in case you're wondering, I spent 12 months of my life, day and night, working crazy hours to get this book researched and out. There's nothing in that book that's not extremely flattering to ZBrush and Pixelogic. Simple as that. That was my job, presented in a positive light. That's what I did. Alright. It's the longest book, it's the most in-depth book, and it allowed me to scratch the surface on some of the stuff that's in its bonds up here. And when you've lived with an application literally 365 days a year, not even Christmas off, right? And you know it as well as it's possibly, you're possibly able to know it, and you still think, well, I know this is going, that it's not going to be promoted. Pixelogic in the same building as Norman, it goes without saying that they're going to give lots of promotion to the people who are effectively living in the same house as them. I always knew there'd be zero promotion for Pixelogic for this, even though they get a crate of free books, by the way, which I think is a bit out of order. You know what I mean? I don't mind if they know that. You get free books, you're promoted, right? I'm a professional artist, professional writer. I don't have the luxury of being a fanboy. Now, I want to try and put everything in the right order here. Right up till a month or so ago, I'd never even thought of Mudbox at all. Yeah, still use it, still open it up every now and again, and did stuff with it, but basically ZBrush had the better poly count. It was the best application of the 2 at the time for what I needed to do, and that's why I used it. And I've always said I will always use the most powerful application that's available at the time. So when I was asked to join the beta for Mudbox and basically do a bit of advise them on a few things, I said at first I was I don't know, this could bite my hand off here. So I hummed and hawed for about a week, and I thought, well, look, how many other people have asked me to be a beta tester? And I've come up with a lot of ideas that are now pretty standard in the industry. That it was always a case of we'll keep it quiet, don't say that, because we want to keep that for the next version of the software. So, and of course you'd notice that even though it's possible in the current version, and then you'd notice somebody bring a DVD out or an article or something like that, or a tutorial, and it would be somebody with a name from one of the big places, you know what I mean, and they get credit for inventing it, and that does piss you off, right? I'm not going to pretend it doesn't. It really riles me up, but there's nothing you can do about it. You can't go against people with a much bigger name and say, I made that. It's like some guy saying he wrote all levels of songs, he's going to get laughed out of court. But the way I always thought was, look, you can steal what you like from me. I won't be happy about it, but I won't get angry, because if you have to steal from somebody else, you've got no mind of your own. I can come up with these ideas from now till doomsday, and that's no exaggeration. I've came up with a shed load over the last week for Mudbox. A lot of them are completely revolutionary ideas. To me they're normal, but when you're speaking to people like Dave Cardwell, who's worked at Weta and been high up in the food chains that were, and other guys that are up there somewhere, you know what I mean, and they're saying, look, this is unique. And you think, oh, well, you know. I sort of knew it, but you know. So yeah, so I just thought, well, what the hell? I wasn't expecting to actually, you know, be overawed with it, but I started Mudbox up, and back to be honest, it's like riding a bike. When you know an application well, it comes straight back to you. And inside, I think it was about 24 hours, it was all back in my head, the feel was back in the hands for the application, and I was knocking stuff out. And I was very impressed with what I saw. Made a number of recommendations. Some will be seeing the light of day eventually. Some have already seen the light of day, can't see anymore. Alright. And they listened. They treated me like a human being. They didn't treat me like scum because I don't live in LA or I don't live in America. They treated me like a human being. And which I was, you know, I've got to admit, I always thought of Autodesk as this big anonymous behemoth of a company that would, you know, cut through a company, and it turns out that they're actually just the opposite, and they get a bad rap, and I'll tell you why. Vested interest. If you look at some of the biggest forums online and take a note of who moderates them, who the admins are, you'll notice that a lot of the vested interests are for, you know, companies like, you know, Pixelogic, like Softimage, you know, places like that. You don't see a whole lot of Autodesk guys running things, right? For, you know, for whatever reason. So as a result, if you're, say, one of the guys who's, you know, programming or heavily involved with ZBrush or Softimage, you're going to try wherever you can to shove that thread a couple of pages down, you know, or kill it. It's human nature. So I would say keep an eye on the threads, right? And don't be surprised if things suddenly disappear, because I'm stirring a lot of shit at the moment. It's not a conscious decision, but things need, you know, basically need to be out there. I've had a lot of requests since I started doing the Mudbox Quick Start series. I'll cover all the Mudbox videos and all the free high-res stuff. There's one put out tonight, the first one, and we're talking hours and hours. Basically, at the end, it's going to be about 5 DVDs worth, all put out in 1280 res for free on the area. Right? It's unique, never been done before. So that's what I was hinting at a while back. I couldn't say anything because it took a lot of organisation, and it's very expensive for Autodesk to do. It's a lot of responsibility on these old shoulders. If you wonder why, you know, why didn't you do it for ZBrush? Well, I did offer back in the days of 3.0, and it was a polite but firm no. Sorry, we don't need it. Fair enough. I'm not going to argue. So I was asked to put. A lot of people have asked me since doing all those about. Well, how do I want to take these models from ZBrush into Mudbox, and then, you know, they might need to take them back into ZBrush again. They can handle the ZBrush bit. You know, they've watched all the, you know, all the DVDs I've put out and other people's, and read the, you know, the books, some of them that had advanced copies, and read all the articles. So they know that side of things. They just don't know how to interact with it too. And it's the hot potato nobody wanted to touch, because you're in danger of pissing everybody off. And you're also making yourself a big number one. You may as well put a big target in the middle of your forehead for all the fanboys to have a kick at, right? But I thought, well, look, I am a professional trainer, software trainer. That's what I do. I train people to use both of these applications. And it would be remiss of me if I do not tell people how to make their models portable for their pipeline. They might not want to change applications. They may say, well, we want to use this stuff from Mudbox, but we also want to use this stuff from ZBrush. Maybe we want to use the power of both. That's not illegal, right? So tonight, I recorded and uploaded a very easy workflow, which no doubt you've seen if you're a regular watcher of my videos and stuff. It covers how to get a model with all its subdivision levels. Obviously the maps are easy enough to get in and out. In a Mudbox, along with the mat cap itself, so it looks exactly the same in Mudbox as it does in ZBrush. And it covers the whole pipeline. Very easy to do. There's a couple of trick things here that people were having problems with, that didn't realise, you know, why things weren't working. So now you'll know. Alright, I'll have a good time. Right, I'm going to go into video 2 now. As I say, this is a 3-part to make because there's a lot of stuff to cover.